Welcome to Star Sign Horoscopes, presented by Astrology Hub. This is your place to discover how each zodiac sign can work with this week's astrology. I am your host, Jamie Magee, an astrologer, author, and a member of the production team here at Astrology Hub, and I am really excited to dive into this week's astrology with you.
Hey guys, welcome to Star Sign Horoscopes. Today we're going to be taking a look at the astrology for February 4th through the 10th. Before we dive into how each of the zodiac signs can work with this week's astrology, I do want to give you a quick overview of some of the highlighted transits that were worked into or woven into this week's horoscope. Now, just as a reminder, if you would like more insight on the transits themselves, please be sure to check out the weekly astrological weather podcast show here at Astrology Hub for those insights. Here at Star Sign Horoscope Weekly, we like to look at how each of the zodiac signs can work with the transits. So it's just a little bit more different perspective. Okay, guys, our theme this week is call to action. And this theme is supported by a lot of energy from Mars and the Sun and Saturn this week. First off, we have Mars in sextile with Jupiter. So basically you have Mars saying, you know what, I have an idea or a tool that could possibly help you with that expansion and growth that you're working on. We'll talk about where each of the signs can look for that in just a moment. Okay, and then we have Sun meeting up with Saturn. And the way that I see this transit is almost like a report card. You're going to sit down and you're going to look at what structures have supported you in this particular area of your life. And you're going to celebrate what supported you. You're going to celebrate the wins there. And then you're going to look at how you can fortify this and maybe invite in more structures. And we'll talk about where you have that opportunity too. Now, we also have Mars working with all the shifting energy that we have in play right now with Uranus. He is in trine. He's also going to be working with the quarter moon. So he's like, you know what? Now it's time to take action on those intentions that you set last week. And we'll kind of talk about that and how to work through each of the breakthroughs as well. Okay, guys, just as a reminder, these are created with both your sun sign and your rising sign in mind. So be sure to listen for both. And I do want to take a second here and to thank each and every one of you who commented on media with what your sun sign was and those who knew your rising and moon sign. I loved reading it. It seriously made my weekend. Thank you so much for your support. And I was so humbled and excited when I see you guys tag your friends who have a sign that's similar to you too. So thank you again. And please feel free to let me know what your sun sign is today as well, if you're new, or hey, we'll just do a roll call. What sun sign and rising signs are watching this right now? Okay, guys, let's dive into the signs. We're going to lead off with our birthday friends, Aquarius. Now, Aquarius, this week, you still have a lot of action going on behind the scenes, which is a little kind of confusing because it's your birthday month. You're out there, the stars are shining for you, but you still have a lot of things that you're integrating behind the scenes. And this week, there might be an idea that you've uncovered or something that you've been working on back there. And you're like, you know what? I think I could really use this. I could really use this and it could help grow my wealth. It could help grow maybe some self-esteem or your self-worth or your resources. So any hint or idea that comes through for you, Aquarius, around how you can take something behind the scenes that you've been working on in private and use it to incorporate into your wealth, I think you need to run with it. No matter how mild it is, just consider it. Now, the sit down sobering feeling for you, Aquarius, may feel a little bit bigger because overall, Saturn is working with you, Aquarius. He's been working with you for a long time. He's helping you take away structures that are no longer supporting you, and he's rebuilding structures that will support you. And that can feel unpleasant. There's just no way to say that it doesn't. It feels great. But in the end, it's like a brand new outlook, a brand new structure that supports you. So basically, this is almost like a really big report card for you, Aquarius. You're sitting down and say, okay, this is how far I've come. This is everything that I've changed. And I do want you to reflect on everything that you've been through, everything that has shifted in your life. Celebrate the wins. Even celebrate the things that aren't there anymore because they were there for a reason and they taught you something as you move forward. This energy is going to kind of like vibrate through like, this is who I am. This is my vitality. You can need to look at some structures around your home, which has a lot of focus for you right now, structures around partnerships and maybe your career too. So it could be a good week to get, or you may find that you're being evaluated or you're evaluating these areas with a lot more detail this week. Now, as soon as you do this evaluation, it's great to take those intentions that you set around that same area last week and kind of put action behind them, especially when it comes to your home. Like, what ideas do you need to put in action? Because something probably shifted there last week or is in the middle of shifting. Like, there's this electric spark in the air that says, okay, change is coming. How can you work with that change? I think you're going to have a lot of emotional focus and attention focus that around not only your home, but what you're passionate about and where your heart is. So kind of think about that energy as you move through this week. How can you take everything that you're learning in this evaluation and put it into action? Like, what structure is going to support you, Aquarius? It's really like a rise to the challenge and call to action, kind of both at the same time for you. Okay, Pisces, let's talk about your week. Now, Pisces, a lot of Pisces that I've been working with, and even some Pisces that I know, it's almost as if you guys have been really focused on your dream or this creative field, or like, the group or association with you're in. And because you're in this focus, you may notice that your friend group or people who are there to support you are shifting. So this week in this shift, you may notice that there's a new friend that comes in and says, you know what, I have this great idea that could really help you with this dream that you have and this expansion you have. And it may not be a friend at all. It may not be a new friend. It could be an old friend or a new friend. There's something in the dream sphere or something in this, desire and community that's like, I have a tool here, and that's going to help us with this rapid growth that we're experiencing. And you're experiencing this rapid growth in a lot of areas of your life. It's expanding in your partnerships, your home life, your career, and definitely how you're known and your vitality. It's just a big year, Pisces. So look for those clues or ideas that you have there. Now, this sit down sobering, like, let's see how far we've come and what this structure looks like. For you, is more so behind the scenes. There may not be like an authority figure, or you may not be sitting down with someone and saying, okay, this is what's working, this wasn't working, but it's more internal for you, Pisces. And I think what you're doing is looking for those structures that can help you break habits or pick up good habits. So celebrate any bad habits that maybe you've released, and really think about ones you want to call in. And habits don't necessarily have to be something that you do. Like, I have this habit, I eat this, I do this, I go here. But a habit could be like a pattern of thought or a pattern of activity, something that you do or you escape into. Like, is that a healthy escape? Do you need a different escape that still gives you that feeling of escape, but is healthier for you? So you're going to be looking at some habits and some structures that you can kind of work on behind the scenes here. And as you do that, revisit those intentions that you set last week and get ready to start taking action and working with the changes that you have around your community, around friends, your dreams. Those are there who are to support you, and what you're trying to communicate, what you want to communicate. Because there's a lot of intentions, a lot of attention in your life around communication and what that means for you. Like, there's something you need to say. There's something that you feel like it can help others or heal others, like creativity. And, I think I've said this before, communication doesn't necessarily need to be words. Sometimes we communicate with music, or we communicate with art, or we communicate just by being present and holding space for someone. But overall, Pisces, I think it's going to be a great week to help you work with these intentions. And I hope you have a great one. Okay, Aries, let's talk about your week. Now, Aries, it's almost like you guys have got so much focus or so much attention going on in your career right now that there's also a lot of work going on behind the scenes. So in a way that I think that this is working out for a lot of Aries that I've come across recently, is that it's as if you have this big bloom and all this attention going on out in the open. And because it's going out in the open, you have to do things behind the scenes to get ready to bring them out into the public so people know what they are. So either you're needing to retreat because you need to kind of get a break from everything that's going on, or you're having to get stuff ready to take out. Either way it works, there's an idea coming in here that may help you make this transition a little bit smoother. You're like, I have a tool that's going to help me do this in a different way. I have a tool that's going to help me kind of connect and kind of, get past anxieties or fears, or get all the tools or action items I needed done on my own independently before I share them with the world. Okay. So your sit down sobering, like, let's figure out, how this is working for us. It's going to come, I think it's going to come around your dreams and your desires and your wishes. Now, I think that for some of you, it could be community and friends. Like, you may be sitting down with a group of people saying, is this working for us or is it not? But with such an emphasis on your career and just your independent nature, I do think that this structure is evaluating more so your dreams. Like, how am I setting things in place that's going to support the direction that I'm trying to go in. Celebrate the wins that you had this year, because you did have wins, Aries. So make sure that you are like, yes, that worked great for me. And this is how I want to keep working with it going forward. And then put in some new structures that are going to help you, build on the success that you already have, or bring in new ways to be successful, like a new revenue. All right. Now, also, Aries, this week, between this week and last week, there's been like a shift around your income. And I hope it was a brilliant shift. Maybe some unexpected resources came to you, and now you're trying to figure out how to take action with them. Or it could be that a resource didn't come through and you're trying to figure out how to make up for that deficit. But either way, with this new perspective that you have, it's time to set your goals and action this week around both your career and your individual wealth. And some of this could play into some self-esteem and some, determination to go out there and do it. But that's where you're looking to take action. And that's a lot. It's like overall, Aries, it's going to feel like it's a busy week just because there's so much Mars energy, and that's your ruling planet. So work with these changes, work with these shifts, and I think you're going to like where they go, but you just have to take action. And Aries, we know you like to take action, so take it. All right, Taurus, let's talk about your week. Taurus, going into this week, you have got a lot of attention and focus around a direction that you're trying to go in. We've been talking about this for a while, something you're learning, teaching. It could be an actual journey that you're going on, or convictions that you're looking at. So this week, it's almost like you have a tool that you've discovered on this journey that's going to help inspire or grow your dream. Or it could be a tool that you have on this journey that's going to help a group of people that have the same desire and plan. So no matter how little the idea is, these two areas of your life are working together. So I would try to grow that. I would try to fan that connection. So it can definitely help you with some more courage and determination. Now, your sit down sobering, let's talk about how these structures are working for me. For you, Taurus, is coming around your career. And because it's coming around your career, you may also notice these conversations happening around your partnerships, around your home life, or just how people know you in general. But I like how this energy is going to allow you to kind of sober up a little bit. Not that you're unsober, but it's going to help you give a sobering impression of what's going on in your life. This is I'm really doing this. I'm really doing this. I've put in all the work, and I've made all the steps, and I've been kind of doing all the stuff behind the scenes. And now here I am, and I'm on the world stage. What do I need to do to support this? What system do I need in place here that's going to help me? Celebrate every step you made to get to this point, and see if you can fortify anything, make it stronger. What can you bring in to help support you even more? Because if you have a lot of attention on your career, you're going to need support from your partners. You're going to need support at home. What can you do to bring that in? And this is going to help you revisit those new moon intentions that you set last week. What actions, plans, now that everything's sort of shifted, is there something you need to change? Is there something that you want to work with and go and alter? No matter how you alter those goals, now's the time to take action on them, especially when it comes to your journey and how you identify with your journey. This is what I'm teaching, learning. This is what the direction I'm going in, and this is what it means for my identity. This is what it means for my vitality and how I show up in the world. Take action in that direction. And I think that you're going to feel really probably energized as we walk into Monday and Tuesday. You're gonna be like, I've got to do this. You're gonna be pumped up and excited to get things rolling. And I think I would work with that emotional focus to ride the wave through the changes that are happening right now. Okay, Gemini, let's talk about your week. Now, Gemini, going into this week, Gemini, you've been going through a lot of transformational energy, and you're kind of behind the scenes, and some of this transformational stuff that you're going through may have you looking at your dreams in a new way, or maybe the community or friends that you're around as well. And if you see something there, like an open wound, or it's what, I really need to heal this anxiety. I want to actively work towards healing this sore spot around a dream or even a group of friends. I think it's healthy to go ahead and start actively working on how you can heal that, how you can work with that, but you're also still really focused on transformation. So it's almost like, if you go out there and you heal this, it's going to inspire you to go through some more transformation. So you have that ability to kind of smooth over any other patches that you may come across on your path. But overall, Gemini, you may have that idea coming from this transformational place. It's going to help inspire growth in how you're known in the world. So if you have a career, your community, or just how people know who you are. And this could be that you have like, someone partners with you and they have a shared resource and they're like, here's, we're combining our resources and this is what it means for how you're known or how y'all will be known together in the world. So look for the mildest idea or insight in that area, because it could be definitely a direction that you want to take. All right. And also that sit down, like sobering feeling, like, let's see how far we're going. Let's see what things look like. And if I need a new structure for you, Gemini, that's happening on a journey. It's happening around something that you're learning or you're teaching. So a good analogy here, if you're a writer, this isn't one of those conversations where you sit down with your editor and you take things out, you add things in, or you sit down with deadlines. I need to like have this structure to meet this deadline so I can communicate all this knowledge on a mass level the way that I need to. So look at things that have worked for you and like take a hard look at it, and then look at things that haven't worked for you. And it may be that you need to reevaluate how you're communicating in general, so you kind of reach that broader scale. But I do think you have a great opportunity here. You just have to look at the structures and work with those and kind of go back to those new moon intentions that we talked about last week. And overall, this is going to help you kind of, once you do this, like from the outside looking in, most people, Gemini, wouldn't know how much you have going on the inside, like all this transformation, all these things that you're having to do to kind of work with anxieties, work with fears, kind of work with like any tools that you have behind the scenes to get ready to bring out into the world. But it may not look like there's a lot going on there from the outside looking in, but Gemini, I know you've got a lot going on behind the scenes, and that's where you want to take action. Start setting those private goals, and you don't need anybody to validate them for you. Just set your goals, work with your intentions. And I think you're going to feel a little bit more clearer and ready to kind of say, okay, I've got a better footing by the time I see you next week. You're going to be working with these changes in a different way. Okay. Have a great week, Gemini. Cancer, let's talk about your week. Now, Cancer, going into this weekend, you may have a lot of your attention sort of focused on your career, but there's also some other points that are going to be pulling your attention to, and it goes right back to your partnerships, which I'm sure you're not surprised about. But the good news is that you've been working so hard on these partnerships that there's a new drive or courage or determination that's kind of sparking up for you around these partnerships. And this idea is looking over there at that, for you, Cancer, it's looking over there at that direction that you're trying to grow in. And it's like, you know what? I think if we partner, we could go in this direction. We could really expand. We could teach something, we could learn something, we could reach a new horizon together. So no matter how mild that idea comes up for you, Cancer, I think I'd listen to it. I think I'd see what that partner or that friend has in store to help you with this growth that you're working on. Now, overall, that sit down, sobering feeling that you have is going to come around transformation. So it's almost like I'd have this deep partnerships, this connection with you, and how can I merge and we put our assets and resources together and grow. You're going to really look at how that's worked for you so far. And Cancer, this could be almost like a tax sit down with your partner and look at the budget kind of weekend. Like I'm looking at our shared resources, actual financial money. You'll see, this is where income went in. This is where income came out. What structures do we need to help support our growth together? What can we get rid of to move forward with? So it's a good evaluation to kind of get clear on that area of your life. And once you do, you're going to be ready to start taking some action around some new moon intentions that you set last week and really kind of hit the ground running. You're going to be looking at at your partnerships, like, you and someone else and all this, reevaluation you just did and what that means for your dream. You could be looking at your partnerships and how you and your partner fit into a group as well. But it's good to take action this week on any intention that you hit. So if you don't take action, that goal may never leave the paper. So take action this week. Okay, Leo, let's talk about your week. All right. So going into this weekend, Leo, you guys are still super busy in what you're doing every day, like your day-to-day routines, but it's almost like there's a nugget or courage, something that you've come up with in this area of your life that you're going to be able to use to work with the transformational power that you're going through. Now, on one level, this could be like a health regimen, like you're kind of going through, okay, I'm cleaning all this up. I'm going to start a new way. And this is what I'm going to do. This is my new regimen. And this is what the transformational process works with. I know if I use this tool, I'm going to transform in this way. And it also could be like, you're doing something every day in your work. And then all of a sudden you're like, I have this idea, and you go and you're ready to partner with someone on a different level, like an intimacy level, like I'm sharing our resources and we're going to grow in a new way. No matter how this idea comes up, whether it's mild or really loud, I think it's good to run with it and to look and see where it can take you. Now, your sit down, sobering emotion, like let's look at all the structures that we have for you. Leo, is going to come around partnerships. There could be some of you that are looking at contracts this weekend, like how are going into this week. This is everything I need on paper, everything they need. Do we agree? Is there any structure that we need to reevaluate? Is there a revision to the contract? Because we are still kind of working through revisions of things that we're starting to implement since we had all the personal planets move direct. So you're going to be looking at the structure from the past year, celebrating what was really great in this partnership, fortifying it, and looking for a different way to support it. Now, because it's in partnerships, you may also notice that this is kind of showing up in your career and your home and just in your own vitality, like how you feel about it. So evaluate that stuff, sit down with those structures, take a serious look at them. And I think that you're going to like the plan that you come up with. Sometimes implementing the plan is not fun, but once the plan is in action, it does feel better. So you're going to sit down and work with this plan. And I think once you do, you're going to have a new look or a new perspective about the intentions that you set last week, and you need to start taking action. I recommend that you start taking action with what's going on in your day-to-day life and how you're known in the world. So whatever plan or intention or goal, take a step toward it this week. And I think if you do, you're going to feel better about it. It's going to help you feel more revitalized around your career and your dreams and those who are there to help support them. Okay, Leo, have a great week. Virgo, let's talk about your week. Now, Virgo, going into this weekend, you are probably really kind of focused, more reflective and privately, but this energy that's coming in, that's all about, I have an idea and this is how we can expand, is coming in a pretty interesting place for you, Virgo. You're going through a lot of changes and you're like integrating things that you've learned around like things that you're passionate about. So this could be, a partner, a romantic partner. It could be children, something you do for fun, creativity, something you've created. So you have all this drive, you're starting to work through everything here. And now that you've done that, you found a tool, or you found a little bit of courage and determination. And you're like, I see how my partnerships can really expand in a new way if I use this tool. So I encourage you to use whatever idea you find here, or at least follow through it, listen to it, because it is going to involve you and someone else. So it's like you're only half of the conversation, but I would listen, or I would ask for the conversation to see how this could help you with your partnerships. Now, your sit down sobering feeling for you this week, Virgo, is going to be happening around what you do every day, like your routines. It could have to be around your health and your vitality, but it's like, this is what I do from the time I wake up and the time I go to sleep. For some of you, it could be your pets, but you're going to sit down and say, this structure, I want to celebrate because I had this in place. I feel so good in this area of my life. I feel supported and I feel secure here. And you want to figure out how to fortify that, celebrate the wins. If there's something that's like draining you and you're like, I'm always doing this, I'm always going back and forth, I don't look forward to this every day. Look for a way to put a structure around it or a system around it that can help support you. And this may mean that, you need to give a task to someone else, or that you need to pick up a task from someone else so you can like have that piece to move your piece forward. Whatever works for you and supports you in the long run, that's what you're going to be looking at, Virgo. And once you do this, you're going to kind of say, okay, well, I had some goals here. I had some intentions. And now that I have this perspective, a lot of things have shifted in my life over the last week. I understand that they're still shifting, but I'm going to start to take action, and you're going to start to take action around that most passionate area of your life, things that you really love and where you want to grow and expand with them. So for some Virgos, if you have a creative thing and you're trying to reach it out into the world, you're going to be like, this is what I created. And it could be anything. It could be something it could be pottery. It could be something that didn't exist before you existed. And how can you share it with others? And how can it take you to new horizons and help you communicate it in a new way? Put an action step behind that goal this week. No matter how little it is, it's good to just put those actions in place. And once you do, you'll start to feel better about the direction you're going in and how this may actually change how you're known in the world, because your career could have a little bit of focus by the time I see you next week. At least your emotional focus will be there. You'll be having some activity. All right, Libra. let's talk about your week. Now, Libra, going into this weekend, there is a lot of focus or energy around your partnerships. I do think if you see anything there that is like a little bit wounding, I encourage you to actively work towards healing it. Now, you only hold half of the puzzle. You can only heal your part of it or how you feel about something, but that activity is going to help you find some balance in some other areas of your life. Like, I see this. And please do not mistake my kindness as weakness. I want to heal this wound, and so I can move through it. So kind of think about that going into this as a backdrop. Now, at the same time, your home life is very active. You're starting to integrate and implement things that you've been working on for a long time in this area of your life. Shifts and changes, getting comfortable in the new environment. But there's an idea or some encouragement. Maybe you have courage because you shifted your home, and now you're like, well, now that I'm here in this new energy, I have this idea, and I'm going to use this tool to help me in what I do every day. I need this tool to help me work on the expansion that I have. So if you're like really working on your health, or you're really working on, or you notice that you have a lot of tasks that are coming in every day, your day that is maybe a little bit more imbalanced because there's new energy or new activities, this tool could help you kind of balance that out and kind of ride that expansion in a way that really will serve you. So no matter how small the idea is, I do encourage you to listen to it and work with it. Now, the sobering feeling that you have coming in, Libra, are like, let's look at our systems and make sure everything is working for us, and how can we take action? It's coming in the area of your life that's all about passion and fun and creativity and just joy. And I know the idea of putting a system around something that brings you joy and love is just doesn't sound fun at first glance, but it could be that this system, you're looking to see, like, how are you supporting things that you love? How can you give structure and a timelessness to things that you're passionate about? Are they getting the right amount of attention from you? And how can you work with that? And if it is, celebrate any win you have here, whether that win is with a partner, or it's with your children, or your business that you've created. Celebrate the mountain that you've climbed. Like, be really happy about that. And then ask yourself, can I fortify this? Is there something that needs to leave so I can have more joy in my life? Like, it's a really kind of hard look, but you're looking at your dreams and what you love and like how you can work with this. And that should kind of remind you, or like make you think about those intentions that you set last week around the new moon. And with those new moon intentions, there's been a lot of shifts and changes, but it's good to kind of sort of take action. I would really look at like the area of your life that has to do with your home life and transformation. What process are you going through? Like, how can I take this intention and implement it in these areas of my life? And what is it going to look like for me? Now, I think you're going to have a lot of energetic focus coming in around transformation and the direction that you're going in as we meet up next week. But working with these shifts, working with this structure, taking those intentions and running with them, working with those changes that are happening around your home life, I think that you're going to have a pretty good week. You just have to take action, that call to action. All right, Scorpio, let's talk about your week. Now, Scorpio, going into this weekend, it could just feel really busy or active around your life. Overall, it may feel like it's just a busy week because Mars is one of the active planets this week, and that is your traditional ruler. But what's going on for you, Scorpio, this week is you have a lot of activity around how you communicate. Are people you communicate with every day? Like, this is my rhythm. This is who I talk to. This is who I see. Or this is actually how I communicate with words. Well, now that you're integrating something there may be an idea or a tool that you've discovered that's going to help you really grow those passions that you're working on. Like, there's a lot of growth around things that you just simply love. This could be around romance. It could be around creativity, your business, something that you're just reaching out into the world with an absolute individuality. But you're going to find a tool between these two areas, or you're going to find some insight, or maybe someone's going to help you with something. So no matter how mild this seems, I think that I would follow it and work with it, Scorpio. Now, your sit down, sobering feeling, like, let's look and see, how does this work? How are systems working for me? Do I need to shift anything or change anything? It's going to happen around your home. And because it's happening around your home, you may also notice that you're going to have this evaluation at work or in your career or in your partnerships too. But you're looking and saying, okay, well, does this system work for me? Like, what does work? And like, celebrate what does work. Like, yes, guys, we're working as a team here at home, or I feel nurtured and supported because I have this at home. And definitely fortify it, protect it, make it timeless. Ask yourself if there's anything else you need. What other structures do you need to bring in? Is there something that's prohibiting a structure from working? And does that need to leave? Things like that. Okay, Scorpio, also, once you do this, you're going to be taking a deeper look at those intentions that you set. And you're like, okay, I'm ready to take action. I'm ready to work with them. You're going to start working with those shifts and changes that you're working with around communication and your partnership, because you have some shifts going on there, but you need to take action to use that energy to work with the shift that you have in that area of your life. Okay. And I think that you may feel like really emotionally kind of focused on your partnerships and the transformation as you move throughout the week. But as long as you work with those new moon intentions and take action with whatever they are, I think you're going to feel better about this, at least about your partnerships and who you are working with to reach that expansive goal around that really creative area, creative side of you. Okay, Sagittarius, let's talk about your week. Now, Sagittarius, going into this weekend, you may be really kind of focused around things that bring you passion and joy, but overall, there's a lot of energy happening around your self-esteem or your individual wealth or your finances. Now, you've been refining this. You've been kind of going back over this, like, okay, this is my resource. This is how I can use it. And it's almost like you found a tool here and you're like, I know how I can use this to work with all this expansive energy that I have going on for me around my home. Like, I think there's an idea or a resource I can use to help me grow this the way that I need to grow. So whether it's coming from you or someone else, whatever idea you have, I think I would use that tool and I would use that drive to kind of take some action and go forward with this. Now, your sit down sobering emotion or feeling that you may be having this week is going to come around how you communicate. So Sagittarius, you've been working on this. And for a lot of you, this could have shifted in a big way. Like, you could have walked into last year communicating one way, and then now you're communicating a completely different way. So you're going to look at the systems that are supporting this, and you're going to want to fortify them. Anything that's not, you're going to want to modify it in a way that can help you communicate the way that you want to communicate. And honestly, this, if it's nothing to do with communication, Sagittarius, it could have to do with just, your day-to-day rhythm, people that you speak to every day and how you speak to them. That could help you. There might be a structure there that needs to shift, so you get the message that you want out, or you're able to share, what you need to share with your community. Okay, overall, I think this will help you revisit once you have that sobering feeling. Take another look at your new moon intentions. Is there anything you would like to shift there or change? And if you do, what does that mean? Either way, take action on your goals this week, and you're going to take action on those new moon intentions and what that means for your wealth and what you do every day, like your day-to-day routine. Like, how can I work with the shifts that are happening there? Okay, overall, I think you're going to have a great week, Sagittarius. You just take action on how you're communicating, put those structures in place to help get your message out there. Okay, have a good week. Capricorn, let's talk about your week. Now, Capricorn, you're still like, it's probably still feels really active for you right now. You have a lot of energy happening where you're going back and you're revisiting things that happened at the end of the year and how the year started, and you're still kind of getting your traction. You're still going. But as you start to go forward, there's something that you find there in your toolkit, some courage or some determination, something that you're able to use to look at how you're communicating. You're like, you know what? I'm really trying to grow how I communicate. I'm trying to communicate in a different way. I think I have something to say that's going to help people. It's going to help share the knowledge that I have and the journey that I've been on. And there's something that there's an idea that's going to show up this week. And whether it comes from you or a partner at work, however mild it is, I do encourage you to work with it and look at it, because it's going to help you with that communication expansion that you're working on. Now, your sit down sobering kind of emotion that you do have coming in this week, Capricorn, could be just around your actual resources and your finances. It would be a great week to kind of just sit down and look at, maybe even taxes or your budget. Like, this is everything that we have coming in. This is how we've spent it. Did we spend it the way we want to spend it? Did this structure support the other areas that we're trying to go in? Does my individual wealth merge well with my shared wealth? How does that look? Are there any changes I need to take? So I think this reevaluation and setting things up is going to help you feel a little bit more secure in the direction that you're trying to go in, because you're like, okay, well, this is the resources I have, and I'm really clear on the resources I have, and I'm really clear on the resources that I'm trying to bring in, that I would like to bring into this situation. And that's going to help you kind of work with those new moon intentions, work with those actions, that you had last week. And I do encourage you to take action, not only around those new moon intentions, but like your passions. Like, this is what I'm passionate about. This is what I'm trying to grow. These are some things that are shifting for me, and just your vitality and how you're known in the world, like an overall scope. It could feel a little busy this week, but I think it's good because, like, it's almost Capricorn. It feels as if nothing has completely landed, but you're able to sort of see where things are going to land. Like, you have a really solid guess, like that's going to land there, and you want to get ahead. It's like, I'm going to go ahead and start taking action here. So when that lands, I'm ready to go forward, and go forward with a lot of structure and integrity as you do go forward. Okay, Capricorn, I think it's going to be a great week for you. Just kind of work for those shifts and work with those changes. All right, guys, that's everybody. I hope all of you gained some good insights or some tips on how to work with this week's theme, which is call to action. And it is a call to action. No matter where you set intentions last week in your life, this is a good week to kind of put those goals in play. So, and especially if you feel the angst or the edge, like, you know what, like it's almost like we set our goals and you're like, that's a great goal. And then a little bit time goes past and you feel agitated about something. And you're like, that's why I set that goal in place. I need to take action and get this goal going forward, so I don't feel this angst or this, turmoil that you may be going through. So I hope that you don't feel the turmoil, that you're ready to just kind of jump in and take the action because you're motivated. But just notice if you do feel triggered or anxious about something, that there is an intention that you can put in place and an action that you can take to move forward. All right. And just as a reminder, guys, if you would love to have a time-stamped email sent to you each Friday after this episode is live that tells you exactly where each of the zodiac signs begin, all you have to do is go to astrologyhub.com/star signs. That's astrologyhub.com/star signs and sign up. And then we will send you an email and let you know where all these timestamps are at. Okay, guys, have a great week. I'll see you next time.
If you enjoyed this episode, please rate, review, and hit subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so that you can easily stay up to date on the latest Astrology Hub podcast episodes. You can learn more about Astrology Hub and find out about all of our shows at astrologyhub.com/podcast.